Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to the magnificent world of RLCraft. You are not in vanilla Minecraft anymore. You are somewhere much more deadly. Well, RLCraft is certainly a dangerous world, but there are ways to work around this danger to get strong enough so that most things will not be able to even touch you. I'm here today to show you how to get to this point and how I got to this point. This is not the only route one can take in RLCraft, but this is the barbarian-like style that I took. And it's a style of gameplay most people tend to lean towards anyways. Disclaimer, this video will not tell you everything there is to know about RLCraft, such as stealth builds and things like that are included in the game, but it will tell you how to get extremely strong in RLCraft playing in a normal style. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so you're scared, lonely, lost. You hear something flying in the distance. You're naked, and it's getting warmer. You're getting hungry, you're getting thirsty. What do? Well, I'm only going to briefly cover the basics because you probably know them by now. Flint from gravel, flint break on stone, flint shard on stick for dagger, grass fiber from breaking grass with flint dagger, 3 fiber into 1 string, stick, string and flint shard for flint hatchet, chop down tree from base, right click on wood on ground after placing block for planks, right click planks after placing on the ground for sticks if you so choose. Okay, intro done. Next, the default key for this is L for level. You can choose the sword combat if you see yourself more as a fighter, or mining the pickaxe if you see yourself as more of a passive miner type player. And farming is, well, farming. The sword is by far the best in my personal opinion, but each path only increases XP gathered through that method by a small amount. So it's not the end of the world if you think you chose the wrong one. After this decision, think about a home base. Making a base yourself is not necessary. You can build a house next to a way shrine point if you really want to. But since it can potentially be burned down by a dragon and you have little means to defeat one right now, you should find a village to set up shop in, preferably one with a way shrine and a library for a lot of books. But we will save enchanting for a bit later. Now you're moving on to mining. You have wood and some stone pickaxes. You're going for iron and diamond. Make sure to bring torches with you down into the mine. Either steal torches from villagers and structures for the permanent torches, or make your own and light them with the matchboxes, which are made out of wood slabs and paper that you get from birch trees. These torches, however, do not stay lit forever and will need to be relit later, so keep that in mind. If you plan on revisiting any place that is lit up by torches, I recommend using the stolen ones. But if it's just for temporary use, you can make some and light the temporary areas. Anyways, back to the grind. You should get enough XP from mining to level up your stats a little bit. For now, all you need is attack and defense to 8, which will be simple XP to get from mining. Start grinding your attack and defense to 16 so you can equip diamond armor and weapons, and grinding your magic to 20 so you can use a disenchantment table later on as well. The disenchantment table lets you turn enchanted weapons into enchanted books, and enchanted books into single enchanted books if there are multiple enchantments on a book. It's very useful, but not a priority right now. So now you're full of iron, and hopefully you have the stats to wear the stuff. And also your magic should be at least 12 so you can enchant. What now? This is where many people get stuck and frustrated. You're still extremely killable by just about everything, and getting XP seems like a daunting task. And you need so much of it. What do? Well, here's where things start to pick up, so get comfortable. First, I made an enchantment table and surrounded it with lots of books that I stole from the local villagers in my village. Don't worry, villagers are stupid and can't read books. They won't miss them. Next, I went to gather useful food. Each added food item has a cool hidden effect when cooked and consumed, and all these useful foods with effects can be eaten even when you have a full hunger bar. My favorite foods to use are cooked silex meat for the speed 3 that lasts 1 full minute. You can find these in just about every largish water source. Cooked chupacabra meat that instantly heals you close to 4 hearts containers, and these enemies can be found literally anywhere in dark areas. And cooked maca meat, which gives you 6 overshield heart containers like a golden apple would, and this absorption effect lasts 20 seconds. You find these dinosaur-like enemies in warmer topside biomes. These animals are very easy to find, and their food is incredibly useful. I wouldn't even bother with medkits and bandages when you have these insane food items by your side. After gathering some food, I cleared out a single mob tower carefully for enough XP to get level 30, and I also found an experienced logbook that stores a lot of XP in it. Most mob towers have at least one experienced logbook to loot, but be careful, they're not the safest places to be early on. Make sure to bring a shield or a decent bow at the very least if you're going under here. You can also make experience logbooks yourself by placing 4 ender pearls around a crafting table. You get a lot of ender pearls from the smaller enemies in the world, so getting them should not be much of an issue. You can take XP out of an experience logbook by right-clicking while having the logbook equipped, or you can place XP into a logbook by crouching and right-clicking the logbook when equipped. Your enchantments at the enchantment table also reset every time you right-click your logbook with a cooldown of a few seconds. You can keep doing this over and over again for various desired enchantments. But first, my preferred first enchantment is to place the enchantment Education 3 on your sword. The Education 3 enchantment tremendously increases the XP you get from fighting mobs. You should now go into mob towers. Mob towers that go up usually have a mini-boss at the top and better loot. But the mob towers that go into the ground tend to still have decent loot but usually no boss fight, so they're easier. You can also just fight at night, but sometimes it will seem overwhelming. Mob towers are nice and controlled areas that are easier to manage in my opinion. Kill as much as you can with the Education 3 Iron or Diamond Sword to gain tremendous amounts of XP to place into your experience logbooks for enchanting later. I would recommend storing the XP in your logbooks and place them into either your ender chest if you have reached that point yet, with a diamond silk touch pickaxe, or store them in chests as you go for later. Each logbook carries enough XP to exactly go from level 0 to 30. You should try to gather heart crystals as well in the meantime in grinding mob spawner towers. You find these crystals primarily from the mini boss to rare mobs, and even rare blight mobs that spawn. Rare mobs are surrounded by multicolored swirls and are more difficult to kill than regular mobs, and usually have annoying gravity abilities, so I recommend carrying around a bow to bring these guys down. The blighted mobs are the next step up, after rare mobs. These mobs are surrounded by purple flames and are even stronger than the rare mobs, but they almost always drop heart crystals, so they are very desirable to kill early on. Again, I recommend a bow. I wouldn't try to kill too many of these more difficult enemies until you get enough XP for a power 4 or 5 or higher infinity bow so you can down them from range. I would perhaps run from the blighted enemies in the meantime, but they're very fast, so be wary. When you are strong enough to easily slaughter these enemies, focus them for heart crystals. You can combine 9 heart crystals in a crafting table to get a heart container that you will right-click when equipped. This heart container will permanently raise your health bar by 1 full heart container up to a max of 10 additional heart containers. You can also mine these heart crystals underground, but they are very rare to find, so it's easier to find them topside in my opinion. Now, after you have gathered a lot of materials and experience from these introductory mob towers and mining, it's time to make yourself truly overpowered. Here comes the fun part. If you haven't already, take a look at your bauble menu. You can equip some items there to boost your stats and raise your immunities to certain status effects. A common bauble to find in mob towers that drop from spiders commonly is the Bezoar. Equip this item in any bauble slot so you are now immune to annoying poison status effects that so many mobs inflict upon you. Mob towers tend to give quite a few baubles and are relatively easy to clear, so you do not need to worry about making low tier baubles on your own. Just take the ones from the towers. There are, however, some incredibly overpowered baubles that you can make. I will now explain to you how to make 2 of the most useful and easy to acquire baubles, and why you want them. Since you have been grinding mob towers a bit, you should have pretty much everything you need to make these baubles, and if not, I will still briefly explain where to get some of the rare materials should you not have them. The first bauble I will be covering is the Dragon's Eye. A Dragon's Eye makes you permanently immune to all fire damage, and the fire resistance alone makes running from dragons a cakewalk, and venturing into the nether more like a dangerous trip to the spa. Here's how you make a Dragon's Eye. You need to find a dragon skull from the various dragon skeletons riddled across the land. The most common area to find them are desert biomes. You also need 4 diamond swords, 3 glowing ingots, and a ring of enchanted eyes. A single glowing ingot is made from 1 iron, 4 glowstone dust, and 4 blaze powder. A ring of enchanted eyes requires 1 glowing ingot, 4 iron, and a golden carrot, which is made from a carrot surrounded in golden nuggets. Carrots drop randomly from zombies, so keep killing those. Or if you're lucky, sometimes villagers are growing them. Now you have a Dragon's Eye, one of the most useful baubles in the game. Equip this to your person in the head bauble slot. The next bauble I will be covering is the Son of the Sea. This bauble gives you a Depth Strider-like effect and a respiration type effect that stacks on top of your own coinciding enchantments astronomically, so you no longer need to be afraid when swimming in the water. You are like a torpedo on steroids. The water will be an escape for you, not a hazard. Sea Serpents actually have very little HP. You will be chopping them up like fish fillets before they even see you coming. I truly can't stress enough how amazing this item is when paired with Deconstructor 3. You can make this bauble with 4 glowing ingots, which I described how to make earlier, 4 uncooked fish of any generic type, and a single prismarine crystal, which is a common drop from many sea enemies. And you equip it in your necklace slot. Also, it makes you not sink, so that's kind of cool. Now I will be getting on to explaining some of the strong enchantments in the game and why you want them on your gear. By now, you should have diamond armor on and are using diamond weapons. My personal weapon of choice is a saber with a shield. A saber does double damage if the enemy does not have chest armor on, and very few enemies have chest armor on. And also you take 25 less damage from all damage when you have a saber equipped in your main hand. The sword takes the damage instead of you, but don't worry, the saber still lasts incredibly long. And it helps you not die, so it's a really good weapon choice. If you want to decide which weapon to use on your own, hold shift while hovering over a weapon in your catalog and it will describe to you its hidden attributes and perks, should it possess any. Anyways, with this diamond gear, clearing mob towers should be relatively simple, so getting XP with your Education 3 sword should be a cakewalk, and you should soon have yourself a set of god gear. Mob towers usually give a good amount of diamonds, so you shouldn't need to worry about them too much. If you feel like you are low on diamonds, go for the enchantment Fortune 3. Fortune 3 makes you get more diamonds from diamond ore, and diamonds everywhere 3 on your second pickaxe gives you a decent chance of getting diamond from any other ore besides diamond itself. You know, like redstone, lapis lazuli, coal, nether quartz will give you a good chance of diamonds. So in total, you're going to have a Fortune 3 pickaxe, a diamonds everywhere 3 pickaxe, and a silk touch pickaxe. Now, after you have your diamonds and experience logbooks, you should start enchanting. Blast protection, projectile protection, fire protection, and the newly added magic protection are pretty much all crap in RLCraft, so go with full P4 armor. Also, since enemies in RLCraft do a lot of damage to your armor, Unbreaking 3 is a must on all pieces of armor. Your helmet should also have Respiration 3 and Aqua Affinity. Your chest plate should also have Strength and Vitality 1 or higher. You can take the armor you make, toss it in a disenchantment table for Strength and Vitality 1 book, and keep combining these books up to Strength and Vitality 5 if you want to be that OP. I did it at least. Took a while, but it was worth it. Dude, just look at those hearts, man. Tier 1 adds 2 hearts, Tier 2 adds 4, and so on, until Tier 5 adds 11 extra heart containers. On your pants, you should also have the enchantment Agility 2. This will make you much faster and is a must-have in my opinion. On your boots, things are a bit more flexible, but overall you should aim for Feather Falling 4 and Depth Strider 3. You can also use Underwater Strider 3 instead of Depth Strider 3, but unlike Depth Strider 3, you have to be completely underwater to get the speed effect when using Underwater Strider, so Depth Strider is better in my opinion since you only need to touch the water. You can also use Advanced Feather Falling 1 through 4 instead of regular Feather Falling by combining books again like I did earlier with Strength and Vitality. The advanced versions of all enchantments are indeed better. I did the calculations and it's a bit hard to explain and not completely accurate, but basically think of it like Lesser Sharpness 5 is about as good as Sharpness 2 to 3, and Sharpness 5 is about as good as Advanced Sharpness 2 to 3. The advanced version is about 33% to twice as good at what it does when compared to the lesser equivalent. With weapon and armor enchantments, the trend tends to move around that line. You can also get some nifty other enchantments on your armor, such as Burning Thorns, but that makes your armor break faster, so I try to avoid those enchantments. You can also get a mending book, but those are really rare from the enchantment table, but if you find a villager that has a mending book, mending is incredibly useful because you're going to take a lot of damage in the game, but with mending your armor should not completely break ever. On a shield, you should aim for Natural Blocking 3, which makes your shield take damage 100% of the time instead of you blocking a large portion of incoming damage. But this makes your shield break faster, so keep that in mind. Empowered Defense 2 to 4 is also always nice because it makes your shield not get disabled as long and reflects a decent amount of damage when it successfully blocks an attack, and it knocks the enemy back. You can also shield bash with your shield by left clicking while blocking, so knockback 2 can always help with the shield. Spikes or Burning Shield can also add to the shield damage when blocking or shield bashing, but it's not necessary. A shield is a useful necessity no matter how much it blocks though, because it saves you from those pesky skeletons, so no matter what the enchantments, a shield is very useful. You can also use two-handed weapons for insane damage against enemies that you can't block their attacks with, such as dragons, so I always have a two-handed weapon on me if possible. On my melee weapon, whether it is two-handed or one-handed, I tend to lean towards Sharpness or Advanced Sharpness 5, Vampirism 2 or Lifesteal 4 for self-healing. Not both of them though, they make the weapon do 0 damage when stacked for some reason, or at least that's what happened with my weapon. Anyways, Vampirism 2 heals you randomly when hitting any entity a good amount. And Lifesteal 4 always heals you about half a heart container when you deal damage. In short, both the enchantments pretty much do the exact same thing. But Vampirism sounds cooler, and it sometimes heals you for burst amounts instead of just a consistent half a heart like Lifesteal. Next, Atomic Deconstructor 2 is a great enchantment because it has a chance to insta-kill enemies, and it has procced before on tower bosses, so it's a really good enchantment to have if you have room for it. A necessity, however, is Looting 3 or Education 3. Education 3 and Looting 3 do not stack, but sometimes you will have an XP farming weapon and a boss type weapon. I usually put Education 3 on my one-handed weapon with a shield, and Looting 3 or Advanced Looting 3 on my two-handed weapon if I can afford that anvil. The next enchantment I am mentioning is a must-have enchantment, and that is Swifter Slashes 3 to 5. Swifter Slashes 5 is astronomically better than Swifter Slashes 4, but combining up to stage 5 is expensive and sometimes makes you have to sacrifice some enchantments. Swifter Slashes makes your weapon swing much faster. My one-handed primary weapon swings about as fast as me spam punching, and each slash is a full damage slash. Lastly, I will be explaining the bow enchantments. I saved the bow for last because the bow will most likely be your primary means of survival in most cases in RLCraft. You can use a crossbow for more damage, but the crossbow shoots slower and has 2 stages, so I prefer the bow, especially when you get the enchantment Rapid Fire 3 on the bow. Combine Rapid Fire 3 with Strafe 6 to get a bow that shoots absolutely insanely fast, practically like a machine gun. The problem about that is that Strafe does not stack with Infinity, so I usually just get a Rapid Fire 3 and Infinity bow. But it is always fun to combine Strafe and Rapid Fire if you decide not to use an Infinity bow. It's actually hilarious, I love it. I would recommend getting Infinity on your bow so you do not need to carry a bunch of arrows around. If you don't know, Infinity makes you only need 1 arrow to shoot arrows forever, but sadly only regular arrows are affected by Affinity. There are really nice arrows in the game that don't work with Infinity, so you can still bring those around if you want as backups. For example, arrows made out of Sea Serpent scales fire underwater normally without being slowed down, and Stymphalian arrows, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly or not, fly forever in a straight line. And diamond arrows do 4 extra bonus damage, so there are some cool extra arrows. Also, you can make dragon bone weapons easily with dragon bones if you find dead dragons in your world. Just right-click on the dragon skeleton to take the bones and make weapons with them. You at this point are now strong enough to kill dragons, and with that feat comes a new challenge, making a set of god gear. I would recommend making a mix of dragon and sea serpent armor for the best protection results. But I usually stick towards all dragon gear because it just looks amazing, frankly. If you have 1 piece of sea serpent armor on though, you'll have a permanent water breathing effect. So that's always nice for clearing water temples and stuff underwater. To avoid the mining fatigue that those annoying little mobs spawn in the water, you can equip vitamins. The vitamin bauble is a relatively common bauble found in mob towers. After either getting your sea serpent and dragon armor though, you should think about getting dragon's blood. Take a bottle and right-click on a freshly dead dragon with the bottle to take its blood. A fire dragon will give fire dragon blood, and an ice dragon will give ice dragon blood. Combine this with a non-enchanted dragon bone weapon for a new and stronger weapon that also deals more damage against the opposite dragon. Fire dragon weapons deal a lot more to ice dragons. Ice dragon weapons are like cold steel and deal more damage against fire dragons. The only stronger weapons are Neptunian weapons, but they don't have bows or two-handed weapons, and these are rare. These are found in rare underwater cities, and I myself have not discovered any yet. Anyways, with that, I will wrap up this video. I hope this guide helped you. I did my best to keep it a shorter video, but there was a lot to cover. And obviously we explained the necessities such as purifying water canteens with charcoal filters and stuff like that, but I have a feeling most people watching this already know about the basics. If you do want me to explain some more things on the survival tips and how not to die early on, you know, how to breed dragons or the best strategies to take down certain enemies, let me know and I may make the video. Probably not though, I'm lazy. Don't subscribe to my YouTube. You can watch me live at dlive/casualty if you want though. I do my best to answer all questions and talk to chat as much as possible when I stream. Sometimes it gets hard, but I think I do a decent job considering. I stream pretty much full-time now, and that's why I haven't been making videos. The link to my stream is in the description. Come check me out, and you can watch PewDiePie's replays too. That guy's breathtaking. I love that man. Anyways, thank you guys so much for the 5K followers on DLive. You're all breathtaking, and I know that I didn't describe everything that you can know about being OP in RLCraft, but I explained the basics to becoming OP. Hopefully with all this stuff on, you're satisfied with just being able to swim in lava and tank dragons and stuff. Because the rest of the stuff gets a little bit more complicated, and I might make a video on that in the future. But for now, if you follow the steps in this video, you will be incredibly OP, definitely strong enough to kill the Ender Dragon, and do endgame stuff. But you know, the rest is up to your own commitment and bravery. I can't kill dragons for you, and I can't grind for you. That's all you, and I believe in you. Have a wonderful day, gamers. Thank you so much for watching.